going to turn the mics to our hosts, Marina and Carolina, and they're going to introduce each and everybody on the panel, and we're going to proceed.
Alright, so the first one, he's a strongman competitor, represented the USA national team. This is his second time at All-Star Seminar. Please welcome Johnny Vasichko.
I believe Broad is one of New Jersey's best bodybuilders, known for his posing, symmetry, and great conditioning. Please welcome Jason Hunt.
Apollon's own. He has incredible work ethic. He is also a Marine and CFFC champion, and now a UFC fighter. Please welcome Eric Nighttime Nolan.
In my opinion, he is the best rider in the industry and the CEO of the supplement industry #1 platform, STAT. All the way from New Zealand, please welcome Shane Smith.
When it comes to classic physique, he is one of the best, competing and winning all over the world, and represented both Apollon and Ukraine. Please welcome Olympia competitor and IFBB pro, Kirill Kudayev.
Probably the best example of term gentle giant. One of the classiest guys in the sport, a true gentleman, yet an absolute monster on stage. Back for his second seminar, please welcome Akim Williams.
He is a legendary Muay Thai fighter. Last October, him and Rogan beat the shit out of each other in the ring, but for some reason they're still friends. I don't know. It's just a weird friendship to me, but whatever. He is one of the all-time greats, and his name is Justin Mishkevich.
Chaos, trouble, unpredictable, the original bad boy of bodybuilding, and arguably the best artist of all time. IFBB pro and true bodybuilding legend, please welcome Lee Priest.
Well, over the years, we developed love-hate relationships. For some reason, this guy cannot help himself, but he either yells at me or throws something at me. But if Robbie has his friend, I do have my friend as well here. And it's guys, sister, you know.
Whether you agree with him or don't, doesn't matter, because he will always speak his mind. IFBB pro, two-time Mr. Olympia runner-up, and bodybuilding legend, please welcome SHAWN Ray.
He's a great guy and a total class act. CFFC, MMA champion, and now a UFC fighter. Representing Team Apollon, Mr. Desperado himself, Luke Fernandez.
I was supposed to introduce my favorite Apollon athlete, Brian Blackman, but he's not my favorite anymore. He's in Japan right now. So I had to find a new one. I think he's kind of a big MMA star, but it's not important. What is important is that he's my new favorite Apollon athlete, Corey Anderson.
Let's congratulate Corey Anderson on winning the PFL title 2 weeks ago. Hey guys, so before we proceed to the questions from the host and obviously then proceed with questions from the audience, we have a special presentation. Every year during Apollon All-Star Seminar, we present one of the athletes, somebody on the panel, with either a special award or something that they truly earned, and this year's no exception. I would like to present our own, actually no, hold on. We gotta start with something else, because there's two parts to this. This year, Apollon Nutrition is dropping a collaboration product with one of our, it's not actually, Kimiana calls him the GOAT, and that's Corey Anderson. He's gonna have his own hydration product. This is for you, Corey. Thank you for the years of friendship.
Thank you.
Being part of the family.
Thanks.
You know how much you mean to us. You're an example of a true class act, a friend, a family member. Like I said, we don't consider you an athlete. You're part of us. And as a result, there is one more surprise, one more present. Dan, if you don't mind.
All the way?
Yeah, thank you. I got it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Corey, before we proceed, if you want to say a few words.
Something I always say about thank you. And Rob picked up when everybody was dogging me out. Got knocked out 2 times in a row. He even told me when he signed me, he was like, yo, you should have signed him. He's a loser. He's getting knocked out. He's not going to be any good. Well, what they got to say now? Every time I got upset, anything was wrong. I was saying, yo, keep your head up, or I think you're going to be fine. I only lost one time since they signed me, or twice actually, but he always believed, and he just knew. Like, he's just going to be a world champion, one of the best in the world. I see it. I see the way these guys train. I see the way you train, the way you carry yourself, the way you represent Apollon. Like I said, I never said no to nothing. Every time you call me and ask me anything, I got him. He got me because he had my back and nobody would pick me up. I'll come home to fight for you, give me a check. There you go, congratulations, stuff like that. Just to say, thank you for representing this candid. You did an awesome job. And even my wife, she said, nah, she was wrong about Rob. She always said, like, she never trusts Russians. So but to this day, she said, all the time we talk, like, yo, well, I ended up being a great guy. I'm glad you had that relationship. So thank you, Rob, Marina, Carolina, Masha, everybody part of the family, and all the fan supporters, everybody that's given me love throughout the years. I appreciate it. It means the most.
Thank you, Corey. Once again, congratulations on all the titles, well deserved. And I'm going to try to predict the next two UFC champions, Eric Nolan and Luke Fernandez. They're on the way, and I know they're going to get it. Okay, guys, so now let's proceed to the questions, and then let's have fun. All right.
All right, let's start with Johnny. Johnny, you represented the USA all over the world. We're more familiar with the bodybuilding, powerlifting, and endurance training. How is strongman training different? What do you do in the off-season, and how do you prepare when you actually go to the competition?
The training is different because we work our whole body at the same time. So every movement has to work your legs, your conditioning, your strength. A lot of legs, a lot of lower back, stones, full body, high flip, full body, even log pressure, think of shoulders, so it's the full body. So our workouts are more labor intensive, more volume, a lot of rest. So we'll do a 5-hour session. We'll probably only train 30 minutes out of that 5 hours. Everything else is warm up or just getting the equipment ready.
Thank you, Johnny.
Jason, now that you've retired from bodybuilding and no longer have shows to prepare for,
He's old.
but clearly you're still in great shape. How has your training changed? And how do you stay motivated?
How do I say what?
Motivated.
Motivated?
Oh, great question. So, training has changed just in the sense of, it's still intense, obviously not as heavy. No more need for workouts that are gonna put you in the hospital for a couple days or keep you, in rehab to recover. So they're just more moderate, conservative type of workouts. Motivation, I think that's the easy part. It's discipline. It's stuff that we do every day for years. It just becomes systematic. It's part of our lives. It's part of what athletes do. And then I hear that a lot. People ask, like, how do you continue to do this for so long? And you don't know what else to do. It just becomes part of your personality. So I really think that's the easy part. The hard part is, sometimes you're not on as good of recovery products, supplements, as you used to be on. So the hardest part is getting through, the aging process and dealing with injuries and learning how to overcome and train around them, and just so your body can just become more efficient. Learning to work with what you have.
Thank you.
Eric, congratulations on signing with the UFC. Remember when you just started, you actually trained here with Rob, and then you became CFFC champion. And now, look at you, you're in UFC. What's next for Eric Nolan?
I mean, what's next is striving for that UFC belt. But yeah, it's funny. Me and Luke were just talking about it. My first ever real training session was here on one of those heavy bands with Rob. So saying I started here is actually true. I actually started here in a weightlifting gym, which is crazy. But Rob's always had my back, and I can't be any more grateful. And this is actually my hometown for the race here, so just to have it come full circle is just an amazing feeling.
Shane, you share multiple new launches, innovations, and industry trends daily. Yet nobody does it like that when it comes to supplement markets. What are some of the most memorable or exciting stories you've shared? And do you still get as excited about the industry as before?
I've probably done this for close to 15 years now, I think. Yeah, give or take 15. And to be honest, every time I get something new, get about 10 brands a day, sharing new products, maybe 20, 30. I get as excited as I did back in the day. And to be honest, the industry keeps evolving. Brands like Apollon push the boundaries, and the standard just keeps raising. Supplements keep reaching new audiences, having new approaches, new formats, and I think it's just continuing to get better and better. And I'm as impressed with everybody today as I was 15 years ago.
Kirill, you've been doing this for many, many years, and now you're probably at the peak of your career. After just competing at the Olympia, what improvements would you like to make? Do you want to stay in classic, or are you actually considering to switch to bodybuilding?
Yeah, can I stand up, please? It's comfortable for me. So, first of all, I want to say a few words of gratitude to you, our team, because we're still working more than 6 years. Yeah, together. So thank you so much for this, all of this opportunity you give me. Even now, it's a big honor for me to be here next to legend of bodybuilding, with its name of bodybuilding, and why I am simple guy from Ukraine, from city Kharkov, and for me, I'm lucky to be here, About my season, it was a great season. Even last year, I did 2 competitions. Yes, I didn't took Olympia qualification for 2024, but after Olympia, I won Texas Pro, and I gave And before Olympia, I also did another one competition in San Antonio. It was good, everything perfect. Easy, like being a cut of weight for classic bodybuilding. But I understand now I need to grow. I need to be bigger because when I do this weight, I lost a little bit of, like volume of my muscle. So I had to grow. So I wanna grow. I wanna just like try use the potential of my body for growing, to get bigger. But I'm not sure I will change my division because classic division for me, you will see guys a little bit later. I will show you. But anyway, I have to grow. It will be harder for me to be the weight up, but I have to. Because now I see judge prefer guys with like muscle, more volume, 3D. I have a definition. This Olympia, my shape was, I think, the best shape. The best shape I ever done, And I just have to grow. Because I have 2 more kilos there. I have this space. What I need. Right? Yeah. Sorry for my English because I'm just. Yes. I hope everybody's there. So I just have to keep it. I have to keep it. That this season, after my recovery phase, I will try to get more muscle, and we'll see. Before I leave, I will do like a few competition. Maybe I will try in an open too, but it will be dependent from what I do. If I will get a muscle, okay, I will try. Maybe it will be like 110 kilos, maybe 112. I don't think it's small. It will be more than, because actually now my weight 106 kilos and I am in shape. So I understand the open division I need no less than 10 kilos. It's like 25 pounds, 23, 25, yes. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I believe in myself. My coach believes in me. Your team believes in me. For me, it's most important. It's giving stretch. Let's get it.
Akim, thank you once again for participating in this event. You're one of the most requested athletes every year. You just competed at the Olympia. How was this one different from the previous months? And what are your plans for 2026?
This Olympia was pretty interesting for me because I'm always, in the top 10 mix for the Olympia. Last year I was in the top 10, previous year I was in the top 10. This year, try something different, try to bring in a more complete package. And I guess the judges didn't like what I brought, so I was out in the top 10. So it was a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, knowing that, you're constantly in the top 10 in the mix with the top guys in the world, and then all of a sudden you're not in that mix anymore. But, I took it on the chin. And for me, there's a few shows at the end of the year. There's one in Poland, there's one in Japan, and there's also one in Spain. The one in Spain I won last year. So it was only right that I probably go back to Spain and probably defend my title. So for now, I'm going to go back to the big man weekend out in Spain and defend my title. Get a qualification for the 2026 Olympia. And maybe do the Arnold again because I was third in the UK Arnold, I was also like fifth in the UK, US Arnold, so I might do the Arnold again. So my spirit is high, I know I'm up there with the top guys, and I'm going to go back to the drawing board and bring a package that basically put me back in the top 10 this year.
Justin, bodybuilders compete against each other on stage by posing, while fighters actually beat each other up. Yet, it seems there is much more bad blood among bodybuilders than fighters. Last year, you actually beat the shit out of Rob, and he beat the shit out of you, and you became closer friends. Again, strange, but maybe you have some explanation to all of that.
Yeah, fighting is a very weird thing. There's
there's a lot of sports where like smack talk is part of it. I remember I fought in South America one time, and I was like cutting weight. They like to mess up the weight and stuff, and they had a press conference while I was still cutting weight on like their like national TV, and they're like trying to egg me on, talk smack. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Tell you what I'm being off? Like, we are going to fight each other tomorrow. Like, I don't know what else. Like, there's not anything left to like have bravado about. Like, we are going to punch each other. Like, I can talk more smack if you want, but like that's gonna happen. But the reality of it is why I really like almost all of the people that I fight. Rock's not an exception to that. But the thing is, I know what it's like to be that person. There are so many times when I have to go to bed early, I have to wake up early and go for runs. I'm not like things I'm gonna eat. There's parties that I have to miss and people I can't hang out with and stuff. And I know all the things that it goes into sacrificing to be what I am and to do what I do. So if there's somebody that is worth me fighting, I respect it because I know what it's like to be there because I am there on some level. And I think that there's a lot of things that, it's one of those sports where you don't get as much notoriety. I'm certain that unless you guys were here last year or the year before that, almost everybody here doesn't know me and probably doesn't give a shit about me. But what the cool thing about it is that you get a chance to get in there and truly test yourself against these people and know more about yourself afterwards. And the only way that I get to do what I love to do, what I've dedicated my whole life to doing, is because that person's there too. I don't get to go in there and shadow us. I have to go in there and go against somebody that is someone there to test me who I am and kind of what I'm worth, So I respect that person inherently just for being there, letting me do the things that I love to do, because without them I can't do it. But win, lose, or draw, after the fight, almost always I feel much closer to that person, unless something like dirtbag happens in the ring and they're kind of dipshit. Other than that, they're much, much, much closer to me, and I care about them more afterwards because I'm thankful for them to let me do the thing that I love to do. But also, if they weren't worth it, if they were somebody that I didn't have a high opinion of, like I'm not here to get a gold star for me on some kid, you know what I mean? I'm here to test myself to my absolute top level to what I'm capable to do. So that person has to be someone that I respect, at least on a competition level, to be something that is worth me dedicating my life to. If he wasn't worth that, then I'm wasting my time. But I really wish that I was all of the people that I punch in the face. If I don't like you, I probably won't punch you in the face. So that's it.
Lee, whether or not you're part of IMD, fans love you. You're a legend, outspoken, straightforward, and years after your last competition, still one of the most popular and beloved bodybuilders. 2 questions. What's the secret to your longevity and lasting success? And do you regret any of the things you said? We're done. It may have
The secret for me is the longevity. I think I've always just been myself. I've never been fake, and people don't either like you or hate you. You just do the thing yourself, and I've never changed or sold out. So I've had like supplement companies that didn't like me because I'd say their products were shit, even though I had contracts with them. I'm not the type of person that's going to take money and lie to the fans no matter what. So, and never regret. No, never regret anything I've said or done. I said, the only thing I think I said before I regret was when I was married and happy was to be my bodybuilder and thought the grass was greener and I achieved with the fitness school and left good. But, seeing the pain my course too, that's probably the only thing I ever regretted. But as far as the bodybuilding side, because I want to be me, if I regretted shit. So, my wife will sometimes look at me and laugh because I'll be watching a podcast and I'll be laughing at myself and she's like, why are you laughing at yourself? And I'm like, oh, it's the first time I've heard what I've said. So I might say something I don't even think about until I listen to it later on and I'm like, oh, that was pretty funny, or that's going to stir shit up. So I said, I'm just me, so I'm just a fucking idiot. So.
The additions of so many categories like bikini, physique, and wellness, do you think they hurt bodybuilding? Obviously, NPC, IBB, and promoters are making more money, but at the same time, shows goes forever. And actually, the bodybuilding fans, they get upset. So do you think having so many divisions is good for the sport or not?
Yeah, that's a tough question because at the end of the day, IPB and NPC, it is a business, and the only way to expand and to grow is to open up the doors to more individuals to be able to compete. And I know that the 212 division that I competed in, you know, granted I did a few open shows, but I do believe that in order to expand, you have to open up doors for opportunity. You know, people bash the fit model division, you know, but the IPB and NPC are trying to open up doors for natural athletes and try to captivate that audience. You know, there was Lee Haney made a post the other day about having, you know, separate divisions in the Olympia, having a 5'6" and under and a 5'6" and over. My argument to that is, if that was the case, Garrett won the 212 and Derek would have won the Open, so he kicked everybody's ass. So I don't understand why there has to be another division in the Open. But from a business standpoint, as a business owner myself, I do see the reason for expanding and, you know, giving people the opportunity to go from one class to the other. There's a lot of guys in the 220, you know, the Open. A lot of 212 bodybuilders are now winning Open shows in the Olympians. You got guys like Sean 170 pounds, you know, kicking a lot of guys' asses. So I think the IBB and NPC does it the right way. And, you know, at the end of the day, one thing that I've learned in business is you're not going to make everybody happy. And that's unfortunate, but I think giving the opportunity to more individuals to compete and get themselves out there in bodybuilding and just in the fitness world, I think it's a positive thing overall. So I personally do not see a problem with it.
Sean Ray, welcome to Apollon. Your accomplishments are remarkable, and your status as one of the all-time greats is unquestionable. You're also known for being outspoken and sometimes controversial. Which bodybuilding era do you think was the best, yours or the current one? And second, do you still believe you should compete in the Olympics?
The second one is only because people have told me that. I mean, when you stand next to Dorian, it's a different experience. I wouldn't know where I would actually be beating a guy that big, but when I hear the feedback from the fans, it sounds like I had a good chance. At least I gave him a good run. What was the first question?
Which bodybuilding era do you think was the best?
Yeah.
Yours or the current?
Of course, the 90s. I mean, that's not my opinion. I think that's the majority of the people's opinion, because we kind of set the standard for what they're trying to replicate, and I don't think they're there yet. The level of competition, the level of conditioning. Am I right, Lee? He's agreeing with me. I think we kind of took the 70s and the 80s and brought the combination of size and conditioning. And I think right now there's a lot of complaints about conditioning, not so much size. But the guys aren't in the same condition that we once saw. We know it's possible, but a lot of the guys are trying to catch up to the conditioning that's been missing.
Thank you.
Well, congrats on winning the CFFC title, your victory on UFC Dana White Contender Series, and signing with UFC. Considering it's the UFC, were you more nervous than usual? More than when you're training for the fight in CFFC? Did your training corporate change while preparing for this particular fight?
First of all, thank you for that. The Dana White Contender Series was definitely an awesome experience, but in the sense of nerves, I would say I was less nervous. I had a great camp, and the training always gets ramped up. I would say, camp by camp, as you're progressing as a fighter, and obviously the competition should be going up in level. So, in that sense, my camp was ramped up. I'm training with guys like Corey Anderson, and I'm holding myself to that standard of what I see, what he does. So I think being in a room with a guy like that and training alongside guys like Eric Norman and all my other teammates, I just know what it takes to be at that high level. So I just focus on that and checking the boxes each day and out. And going into it, I just knew that I train with guys that are much better than competition I was up against, the contender series. So yeah, I was confident in the sense of I knew that my ability would produce what it did. But yeah, I would say in fights in the past, I think I was more nervous, and even I would say my dad can attest that in the back room. I was actually chilling, I was having fun, just soaking up the moment, and I think that the fight itself is won in the months of preparation. So that's kind of how I've been living my life in this fight career. Is do all the things that you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, and come fight night, you'll see those sacrifices come to fruition. So yeah.
Didn't see Luke's fight. He starts the guy in 14 seconds with a double jab with a nice cross. So you know what I mean? Another song.
I was watching that fight. Corey, you're next. First of all, congrats again on handling the image on the Apollon wall and your own hydration flavor in strawberry margarita flavor. Even though I like more than usual, but whatever. You won the UFC, actually Ultimate Fighter, Bellator, and PFL titles as well. And recently, your heavyweight debut as well. With all these accomplishments, are you the only one to achieve success in 3 biggest promotions? If so, does that make you one of the greatest light heavyweights of all times? How do you think you would perform against the current top 3 guys in UFC? And I will be more specific, I'm talking about Alex Lyria.
I think the first question I'm going to answer is, do I think I'm one of the top light heavyweights in the world? Yes. And believe that when I came in the game. I went out to Vegas when my first camp and training was one of the top guys then before I even had a UFC fight. When I was doing them, Ryan Bader and everybody then, I knew right then what I could do in this game if I put everything into it. And then second question I answered was Alex Herrera. Like we all know he can wrestle. So we all seen what I did to his coach on a week notice. Go over to his area. Nothing against Glover. Still got mad love for him, but he was the boogeyman, the scary guy. Took the fight on a week notice. Flew over there, lost 34 pounds, and dominated 3 rounds, and left unscathed. I mean, I don't think I would do much. I'll probably do the same thing now. So when you mix the punching to wrestling, it's different. Like a kickboxing fight, 100% you're probably beat. There's no doubt about it. But when you mix up MMA, I don't think there's anybody, not just 205, I don't think there's anybody in the world that mixes it up the way I mix it up. Because it's not just what you can do, hands and wrestling and kicks. It's about when you can do that. Like I have an act for, I make you think we're gonna strike, and once you get comfortable swinging, I'm gonna take you down. And if I can make you think I'm gonna wrestle you, the moment you get comfortable trying to fit my takedown, like start punching and kick you, and then you start striking, I can take you down. It's one thing, it's hard to mix that together. This thing that they call fight IQ. And I feel I have one of the best fight IQs out there because I'm never the strongest, I might not be the fastest, I might not be the best wrestler, the best striker, but one thing I know I have is a cardio. And with that cardio, I can mix everything together, and I know at the end of the day, you're going to be tired before I'm going to get tired. So the moment you get tired, I'm going to start mauling you and mauling you. And before you know it, it's like you can stop at the first round. By the 5th round, if you're really tired, I'm just going to have my way with you. No Vaseline, it's just weak. So that's pretty much my mindset. You really get when I'm training. That's pretty much the mindset. You might stop at the first round. You might stop in the second, but the 3rd round, I'm going to have my way. And then by the end of the time, I'm going to finish with a smile on my face with a happy ending. So, yeah, other than that, I feel at the top 3, I'm all along. And that's not cocky, that's not confident, that's because, one, I spar with Jamal Hill, rather than the champ. I floated, or Jan Block, which is still number 4. We all see what happened. I went out there and wrestled him and fought him the way I should. I had 2 10-8 rounds and mauled him. The second fight, I wasn't trying to prove a point, but I could strike with a striker, and I just paid the cost. If I go out there and do what I do, it won't even be close.
Heath, welcome to Apollon. It's an honor having you on our channel. You're the last dominant Mr. Olympia. Why do you think nobody has been as dominant as you, Ronnie, Dorian, Jay, Legacies, or Schwarzenegger? How do you think you compare against the 8 top guys? And finally, the question we also asked Ronnie. Ronnie at his best versus Phil at his best. Who wins?
Oh, damn.
We'll go back to front. I think I would give Ronnie some problems because of the fact that what people don't realize is I'm not a mass guy, but I beat a lot of mass guys. The other thing is that I won and am only the 7-time Miss Olympia, you all know that, but I did it in a 2-day show format. Ronnie never won on Olympia in a 2-day show format. So it depends on which format we're discussing, because if it's a 1-day show format, I'm going to be nasty. I'm going to go a little crazier because I don't have to deplete for, that much, So, I think I would have given him a lot more problems than Jay or anyone else did because it's just a different dude. I think we all can agree the conditioning is going to be as good, if not better. He has certain shots that I think are freaking gnarly, but at the same time, while he would say, like, let's say, 98 Olympia was freaking ridiculous. I can stand next to that. 99, I can stand next to that. 01 Arnold, I can stand next to that. The 03 Olympia, where he came on a freaking spaceship, that's freaking amazing, but it was all from certain shots. I think if we're looking at it from the judge's standpoint back then, he, as impressive as he was still watering from the front. And if we go back and look at those photos, we're always looking at the rear. So I think that those are things that I would be able to exploit. Now, the size, I'm not going to be able to exploit that, but the conditioning and also the shape and separation, those are things that I know I have weapons. As far as like, I think you said, did you mention eras or?
I mentioned Yates, Dorian Yates.
Oh, Dorian Yates? Well, I'm using him all day. And people may not go that way, but Flex Weaver could have beat him, but I'm better than Flex Weaver. I have the same conditioning, if not better. I have better shape. When Sean Ray was talking on the torn bicep and torn tricep, you see my freaking arms? Let's just keep it real, right? I mean, let's just keep it real. We're talking weapons here. Like, these are still got arms. I don't even train. So my point is, like, I don't think I would have problems, especially during those years that he was injured. Now, we're talking about toe-to-toe, like 92, 93, like, I'm giving them some work. There's no question about it. Because it's just different. And that's the hard part. Like, it's not a disrespectful thing, but I'd be stupid and I would actually be, again, 2-day show Olympia. They never done that. So I don't know if even fans realize that. How many people in here even knew that I won 2-day show Olympias compared to those guys who won 1-day show? Like, a lot of people don't talk about that. That's extremely difficult. So, I definitely feel like I can be Dorian. What's the next question?
No, I think about the era. Same question as Sean, yeah. No. Why you were dominant and today's guys are not? Why you're the less dominant?
Genetics, number one. If you don't have it, forget it. It's just the way it is. I was a Division I basketball player. Me, playing hoop. Come on, I'm a height disadvantage. But I had the heart. I had the skill. I took it as far as I could go. But if I was 6'2", I would have been playing ball either overseas or on TV. You already know that. I just feel like I had the skill set. But when you're 5'9", it's just not, it wasn't in the cards for me, right? But bodybuilding at 5'9" was perfect. I think that was the perfect height for me. Obviously, it worked well. As far as what made me different was the fact that I was raised as an only child. Both my parents worked non-stop. So I had to raise myself at obviously with their help, of course. At 8 years old, I was taking care of the house. I learned how to be self-sufficient. So when it came to getting up, going to school, it's 2 days of school my entire life. Sick, whatever, I showed up. Why? Because my parents were sick and showed up. So when it came to bodybuilding, I'm like, wait a minute. I get to write my own schedule. What do I have to do? I have to get up in the morning, do cardio. I have to just eat and drink water, take these supplements, maybe some gear, and right? Just keep it real, right? Do that, take some super subs, and go to the gym and actually get paid to do this. Why is my life so hard? But what made me different was the fact that I didn't need an entourage to tell me how great I was. I didn't need someone to always I did with no training partner. Look at my videos, how many training partners you see? None. Why? Because I knew at that very stage I was going to be by myself. So I figured, if
if I'm comfortable wearing practically nothing at bodybuilding stage, and you're in your most vulnerable state, if I'm standing next to another person who's a little, used to having everybody blow smoke up their ass and don't know who they are in the depths of hell that they have to go through to get there, I'm going to be very formidable. So my competitive spirit is number 2, as far as like genetics number 1, competitive spirit number 2, and just understanding who I was, and always recognizing the fact that if you say you're going to go through the nth degree, you have to. It's like an equation, n plus 1, nth degree plus one more rep, one more fight, one more meal, one more level of adversity, and I just look at it like that each year. So, as you can tell, I get really amped up even now, because what I don't see today is that they don't have that spirit. Maybe because of entitlement, self-gratification on social media, they're listening too much of that instead of looking in the mirror, and just understanding that there was people that came before you that actually laid the groundwork for you to succeed, and you owe it to those people too. But overall, I definitely feel like, that's what made me a great force. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. You actually said something very, very intentional, and I really appreciate you saying it, because I do feel the same way when you stand next to a person who really gave up a lot. Some dealt with a lot of different types of small trauma, big trauma, as to how they even got here, and they showed up still. Some people do the entire prep, whether you're amateur or pro, and still don't show up. Why? Because they don't want to be adjudicated like that. You're dealing with like a lot of emotions that go through your mind. So I do thank those guys that actually showed up and allowed me to show out. But most importantly, it would be a very lonely stage if it was just one person. It would be a very lonely stage if the fans were there as well, applauding not just me, but everybody. So that's what I'm most excited about still. But I think we covered everything. I do want to say thank you all for hearing me talk, hearing everybody speak. This is my first time here, hopefully won't be the last. I wish all the competitors and fighters I wish you great health, God bless. But most importantly, continue to fight, continue to win, continue to thrive, continue to give back. I'm on the other side of this sport, and I realize that it's all about what you can give and what you can receive. Thank you.
I just want to bring up rap legend Melly Mel in the house from the East Coast. Let's bring up the rap legend. He came out here to support us. You guys step in the front for you, man, coming out and supporting us.
Sean,
It's Big Rob.
Akim, yes sir.
Melly Mel supports bodybuilding.
My brothers. All right.
Have a seat, man. Come up in the front. Sorry to sit down.
Welcome to home. So that basically wraps up this part of the seminar. And obviously, guys, thank you so much. Obviously, all your answers were very from the heart and it's very, very obvious. What I want to say is I was asked recently why we're mixing up bodybuilders, fighters. It's not really connected. But the truth is, these guys are legends, whether they legend of sport, business, whatnot. They're presenting one word, one sentence, I guess. It's hard work. And this is a true representation of hard work. Sometimes they lose, sometimes they win. It's how they bounce back. It's how they get better at what they do. And I think one thing that I heard from the panel today is each and every one, I heard many times, obviously, specifically about Guy, SHAWN, Phil, even Corey, that they arrogant. That's not arrogance, that's confidence. There is a huge, huge difference, and that's the reason why they are what they are today. And I think that's the reason why you came on Saturday to see them and to give them the respect. And each one of you is probably a fan of one or the other or all of them, but they deserve to be here. And this morning I had breakfast with SHAWN and Phil and Shane, and I reminded something SHAWN that he really doesn't remember because he's old as fuck too. But years ago when he was getting ready for Olympia, Marina and I, we reached out to him. We didn't expect him to answer, obviously, but he did. And he said that he's at the doorstep of death. And, you know, it was maybe poetic, but I don't understand what he was saying. And then one of his interviews, he said something when he was asked why he keeps getting better and why he's top 5 at Olympia for 12 years, right? And he said something that I think we all can live by, and that was, I never see satisfaction in the mirror. And ironically, I'm known guy for many years now, probably about 20 years. And this is not going to throw him under the bus or anything like that, but he'll be the first one to tell you, and Corey actually will say the same thing. The guy said, I don't have the genetics. I wasn't meant to be a bodybuilder. I'm not even that good. But he told me, he says, I work very hard. And I've seen him train in this gym. You know, some people have the gift, and some people don't. And those that don't work very, very hard. But that's not to dismiss the gift. Heath, because that guy proved that hard work plus having a gift is superior to anything. I think that's the reason I'll answer the question for him for his dominance for 7 years. Because there were many gifted athletes, I'm not going to name them because the true fans of bodybuilding know who they are, that never achieved the same status. Why? Because they were privileged, lazy, didn't take it seriously, didn't put the hard work. All these guys on the panel are a testament of hard work and dedication. So please give them a round of applause because they all fucking deserve it. To those who are yet to compete and win titles, guys, good luck to you, we believe in you, we support you, and you might win, you might lose, but to us, you're a winner and role models. Thank you very much for that. And since I was so nice, it's time to turn to asshole mode, because before I turn the mic to you guys, somebody asked me not to throw them under the bus, but I have to. It's just my nature to be an asshole. And on the panel, once again, we have all these great athletes, but we have somebody's dad who asked me not to do it, but I will do it. I want to congratulate Luke's father, Timo, on the achievement, because Luke is a great guy, he's a great fighter, but having this guy by his side, his dad, who trained him, is part of his success. And not to honor this man would not be right. So please round of applause for Luke. You got yourself ready for UFC. You were by his side each and every step. I know the bond that you guys share. You're not an athlete, you're a coach, but you're also a father who witnesses his son getting punched in the face. But he's winning every time, so that's a great thing. I know I asked you this before, but he wasn't a UFC fighter. He didn't even win a title back then. Now he has a CFFC title, and he's a UFC fighter. We asked him we might ask him what changed for him. Clearly nothing, because he's not even nervous. Prick. But I'm going to ask you, are you nervous? And what's next?
I gotta say, God gives us all gifts. Some of us physically, some mentally, and some in our children, you know? And Luke has exploited the gifts that God gave to an incredible degree. I've never been so impressed by a person like I am. My son and I see it in all these athletes. Because the platform they stand on, to stand in front of people and do what they do, whether it's fighting or bodybuilding, it could be a fake platform. It could look like I did a lot. Because they feel people looking at them, they think more of themselves than what they are, and then that platform will crumble and fall if it's not real. And so I see his dedication. Eric Owen, Corey Anderson is a perfect example of doing it the right way. And me as a father, am I nervous? Honestly, we do the work. As me as a striking coach, I try to do my job. But we also watch the video together. We watch the opponent. I'm
I'm sure bodybuilders look at the opponents and say, I gotta get better at this too. Same thing with fighting. We look at what's their tendencies that we can exploit. And honestly, when I go into a fight with him, up to now, I'm probably the least nervous in the back room. Because I already did the research with him. I've seen his preparation. I could see the outcome, and I predicted it pretty much on point most of the times. Because it's like 1 + 1 = 2. The first part, the hard part, the dedication, the work ethic. And you know, if you're gifted, some of us aren't, with the support behind you, it's a little easier. But if not, use that as determination and what you use to push it. And you know, luckily Luke and these guys that I know on the panel, they've had the support. They have great companies and guys that support them like you guys. And me as a father, I think more appreciative. But honestly, I was the least nervous in the back. Why? Because I seen him and I know he was, I hate to say it, it was almost like ridiculous how calm he was before this fight compared to others. They were less meaningful. He was prepared. Now, Dante, the head coach, was a little bit more nervous. He ended up being like 5 times. So, yeah, I was confident because I've seen the work put in, and I'm sure all these athletes know what I'm talking about. When you're confident in what you put in to stand on that platform in front of people and walk up in front of people to do what you do, and you have to respect the opponent that does it. And some of them don't have the gifts you have, whether you exploit it with the gifts or not. That's up to you. That's your. So yeah, to answer your question, I was pretty calm. So I was happy and pleased with the outcome. There's always a chance things go wrong, but as long as you stop your hands across the feet, the outcome should be welcome. You know, they did this. Thank you.
All right, guys. So please let's do this as respectful as possible. Kirill. We need you.
3 minutes.
Okay, so we have 3 minutes. So somebody can ask a question. Please raise your hand and first.
Mr. Saturday Night. I can name 7 reasons why you raised bodybuilding all time. 2 years ago, I was at Iron Revolution, and I met someone who I can name 25 reasons why he's the greatest Olympia coach of all time, Honey Rainbow. I asked him this question, I want to ask the same question. I'm younger, right? So I didn't grow up. First movie I didn't watch was Pumping Iron. It was Generational. So, I'm 24. So I've always asked Honey this, and I want to get your perspective. What was it like? Because I know you went to the premiere, you had no idea how they're going to paint you, and then they made you a villain. And I'll be honest, when I was young and I saw that movie, I was probably like 12, and I was like, damn, I hate this movie, God. Like I was like, gosh, I want like Kai Green was huge, oh my God. When I look back and I'm like, dude, it wasn't even close. Like Phil was the guy. And I just want to know how did you get through that time? Because it must have been such a shock to just be painted as a villain. Like you said, I heard you say like Arnold was like a hero and Pumping Iron, and they wanted to make you like villain for some reason. But just you speaking just now fires me up. Even me speaking about it fires me up. So I really want to know like how you got through that time. How it happened and how you reacted. How you got over.
I never heard that's your first question.
I know it's Ricky's game. What's your name? Rico. Rico? Thank you for this question. Actually feel old. Yeah, right? Literally. So when Generation Iron was filmed, there was many times where I would actually show like my humor side. Because, look, they were parked outside my house for like 5-6 days. And after a while, you get very comfortable. So I'm like basically walking them through, kind of like what you were saying about like walking through like the fight week or the fight itself. So I'm like, this is how Kai's gonna go, this is what this guy's gonna do, this is this guy's gonna do. And they're like, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna line them up and kill them all. Like, that's what I'm gonna do, right? And we just had so much fun. And those clips weren't SHAWN. So when I was at both premieres, it was up until the point we went to New York and we had that premiere. And I'm talking to Michael Jai White, so he's there, and we just get to chat and stuff, and then Honey pulls me aside and goes, I have a bad feeling. I said, what are you talking about, bro? You got SHAWN 2 weeks, like, you about to start. You know, you about to kick these guys' ass. What are you talking about? He goes, I think they really got you over, man. And you're not seeing it because you're just looking at it as a film. But there are some people that are gonna make it seem like this is like a rags to riches story of a guy that he had no money and this, that, and the other. I was like, people are smarter than that. People are smart enough to know that the second best bodybuilder in the world has sponsorships, that travels the world at the same time I did, and has money and this and that. He's not struggling. But they're painting it like that. He was like, Phil, like, we really gotta like make sure that we do our job. So I was able to make that happen in that show. That was 2013 Mr. Olympia, and I did one call out in the entire prejudging. That hasn't been done since like 18, I guess, back in like the 80s. So how did I deal with it? I just said, win. Win, keep winning. And as the controversies came up, you know, people despising you for things that I had to realize that I'm gonna be misunderstood. Every person that's going for something greater is always going to be misunderstood. When they can't beat you, they're going to persecute you. Look at Jesus, right? I'm not even Jesus. I'm not that, but I'm just saying, like, you can be as great as you can be and cross all your T's, dot all the I's, be a great dude. Someone's going to find something to talk about. My stepdad used to say, people just flap their jaws, they hear their teeth do the boogie. And that's what people do every freaking year. It didn't bother me because I was like, why am I just getting crap talked about me when I'm actually traveling the world, being ambassador bodybuilding? I'm not doing shady stuff, you know, I'm doing the real business of it. I'm representing you guys, like, and I said, all right, let's just flip the script, man. They want a villain? All right, I'm gonna give you one. And that's why I call myself the freaking dream killer. And I'm gonna create so much mayhem against all the guys that you guys are rooting for, and I'm gonna kick the shit out of them. I'm going to make them so intimidated by the fact that I'm going to go backstage and I'm going to go up to Dexter, I'm going to go up to all these guys, I'm going to go up to Kai, and I'm going to be like, you're mine. All that crap talk you got, Grammy, camera crew, all that stuff, you're mine. They ain't here to save you. And I would say these things very subtly. And I just let my body do the talk, and it worked. I internalized it. I used it as fuel. I will say the one thing I did wrong was that I allowed it to get too dark. And when I would win, there was still a hollow feeling. So I tell everybody, like, when they say use things as fuel, be careful. Because at the end of it, it'll be like Mike Tyson looking at all those belts and stuff, and he says, this is garbage. Because all of the pain, all of the struggle and stuff, you just did it for validation for something else, some type of traumatic event that you suffered through. You have to be very, very careful with that. Because when it's over, you're gonna feel numb because you numb the good and the bad. So I dealt with it differently. I'm on the other side. I was able to process that. I went through all kinds of mental and emotional struggle like after I got done competing. But I will say this, it was okay with being the hero and the villain. It was okay to be the dream killer at that time because I knew that I had an opportunity, I had the privilege of holding that sand down. And what it exemplified hard work, it exemplified resilience, and the ability to look within and just continue to do it over and over and over again. And like I said, bodybuilding taught me a lot about who I am as a man, not as a bodybuilder. Bodybuilding to me is like a fun thing, you know, lifting weights and all that stuff. But knowing the struggles that I have, you know, in my personal life, how I'm able to go through divorce, go through my dad dying, go through my stepmom dying, having fans use that, saying, I hope your mom dies this year. Like, this is this crazy stuff, and you realize that people are just in pain. So they're just trying to use this as distraction, but I can get through that fog. I just have to know who I am and continue to come back over and over and over again. So it's good, you know, I'm glad that I was able to make it out alive. I say that again, I'm glad that I made it out alive, because the guy that beat me is not here. So I have to be thankful for that. So I thank my body every day. I thank God every day, I thank my body every day for showing up for all those years and the years to come. Thank you.
We're gonna have, well, not an intermission, but a little surprise. You all like bodybuilding shows, you all like seeing shredded, ripped, big physiques. So, courtesy of one of the guys on the panel, maybe the second one will join since he's also in shape. The real, coming up. And we don't have music, but we have audience, so guys, make a lot of noise.
Everybody wants it.
Come on, guys. Olympia, we covered it last week, and today at home, All-Star Seminar. Akim, don't be shy, you can show a bicep or something. That was very, thank you very much.
I hope everybody enjoyed.
Now get your back to the table.
Was KFC closed?
Luke, you can go back there about the word.
I'm ruining every Mr. Olympia.
Please,
wondering what story, what is it you were going to tell on the Trent Twins channel? Is it or some shit like that? How was it like going up against Victor Martinez? I met him recently, kind of confused you with him.
That happened.
I was just wondering, like, what was like really separating you and Victor, and just for like all three of the Olympia qualifiers, like, what really what really like, helped you get ready for like every show? Because I'm trying to like, I don't look like it at all. I don't know shit, but I try to I want to be at least qualifying for this Olympia because no Korean has ever actually won one yet. So I'm like really fucking nervous right now. You want to get out? You want a donut?
Want to make them feel better. This is the shit. Yeah, you try all the wrong advice is going to
I'm trying to cut her. Yeah, I was just wondering what the story was that you were going to tell on the channel. Take a plug, he's going to help her. Did you actually get picked?
Yes, that was a true story, but I didn't get them. But you have to understand, you know, a lot of women don't like anal sex, so I figured out very enough, sometimes you've got to take one for the team. As she was doing this, I think the pill I did, the whole time I was biting that pill, I just thought, bitch, my turn next. So, the things were sweet, so that's a true story, but there was alcohol and a bit of cocaine involved, so don't do drugs. I don't recommend it.
I gotta ask, how did the vodka bottle end up in your ass in the first place?
Again, there was cocaine involved. My wife told me a story about a guy, I hate the taste of alcohol. She told me a story about a guy that shelved alcohol, so I was doing cocaine in the office once and I had a bottle of vodka. I don't want to drink it, what happened to do this? So she walked in, I did something, trying to put it in there and twist off into two cocktails. You got to be a feel to all these stories. I'm like, what the?
We're already here now.
And then when I was trying to put it in, she goes, what are you doing? I said, well, you told me that story. And she's like, I told you, you fucking died doing that. I said, well, you know, I'm on cocaine. I don't remember the whole fucking story. So, it's no big drugs. I'm very up now. You want to get out? Check it out.
Sorry, I was just wondering like, what really separated you with Victor? Like when you were
I think I was continuing with Victor at the tail end of his career. We both had our pride in the beginning. I competed with Victor in 07 Arnold, right? They split it and he won. Victor Martinez is one of the best bodybuilders around. No question about it. He was definitely an heir apparent. He Ronnie Coleman said it many times. Jamal James was actually at the press conference. I was there, you were there, like it was insane. I think without injury, I think he would have capitalized on 2007 Olympia where he really did push Jay Cutler and he came back that following year. I think he got hurt. That's when he broke his arm. I think that's what really messed it up. Because without injury, I think for all of us, if we don't get injured, I mean, there's some incredible things that we can do. But I think with Victor, he just had a lot of bad, he was like one thing after the other that just prevented him from getting back on that stage. And applaud his resilience for even trying. But yeah, the guy's still in good shape. I know that he recently had some health issues and stuff. I'm sure he'll be back. I wish him all the best. As far as he and I looking alike and all that stuff, there's been a couple times in the magazine, like Muscular Development, with black and white. So I'm like, I didn't realize I was in this magazine. They're like, oh no, that's Victor. I guess I gave myself too much credit. He got bigger traps than I do. But I will tell you a funny story. I was actually at one of Steve Hamburger's appearances. No vodka involved. Well, maybe no cocaine either, but not for me, no gasoline either. So I'm sitting here, doing the autograph signing, and this lady's just staring at me, and I'm like, okay, I get it, nice big black dude, really nice muscles, championships, get it, right? She comes right up to me, plants one right on my face, and I was like, don't know you, I think you're looking for Victor. She goes, you're Phil. Yeah, and he's walking right in right now. And he walks up and he's like, I get it too, Phil, you gotta just roll with it, Blair. He's like, how many times this happened? I was like, oh my gosh. But, shout out to Dick, I wish him all the best.
Hey, Phil, I have a question for you. What's your opinion on this year's winner, comparing with Derek, Ivy, and Andrew?
I don't think this was Derek's best show over the past 12 months. I think we all can agree on that. I think the cool thing is that he was still able to get the nod, right? He did the interview last year, he placed the third, right? And then he won the Arnold. I think this wasn't the best showing that he's had in those 12 months, in my opinion. I think Friday was really, really good. I think that's why Hottie looked better on Saturday. I think if they would have treated it equally, it could have went either way, but I think there was only a 2 or 3 point difference, so it was very, very close. I say this, Derek needs a lot of rest time. You do 4 shows, that magnitude in 12 months, that type of stress, you got wife, kid, your kid on the way, second kid on the way, you got a gym business, you got all the commitments with bodybuilding itself. That's a lot of stress. And social media compounds all this stupid stress that you feel like you have to be on display all the time. I think that causes a lot of anxiety. And I think for him, his mentality should be reminding himself he's out there again, just to get back in his face, stay strong with that, stay at home, work on home. Because without home, Olympia, that's going to go like that. Home is what matters. So, I told him that after he won. These guys are right there. Andrew Jackson won that show, so it's been a potty. Potty may have had a trainer the entire time. Might know. That's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is one of those things where it's like on those 2 given days that you want to win. And again, I do believe that rest will be his best ally right now. If he doesn't rest, he starts becoming. I know for a fact Connie's not happy, and nor should he be. If I'm Andrew, I'm salivating. And I think people saw that. Whoever watched Olympia, I think he saw a new emergence of passion coming from him. And also got to think of Samson. Samson's not happy at all. I wish he was a little bit proud. We were talking about that before, because I feel like he needs the chest. He exposes himself to whatever, they can do whatever to him. The internet is going to just tear him alive. I think you go, he has to win. So, and then you got Martin. I think Martin, next to Derek, is the most muscular. It's a different story, man. So Martin's got some good opportunities as well. But that's what makes the Olympia so great, is that I've been able to see numerous champions emerge, see some decline, but they all have another opportunity the following year. And then you got guys like Nick Walker, who got me to not do well at home. And he knows that. So I think all of that collectively, I know this is part of your question, but I know you're roundabout, is that I think Derek has to rest. If he doesn't, these guys, man, and some of those guys have to rest too, but I definitely believe when you're the champion, you earn the opportunity to take time off, and it sucks, because right now our class is paying more than the Olympia. So it's really difficult to say, I just want $600 grand, and I'm turning down $750 plus an extra about $200, and $250 at the Arnold UK. It's $1 million. I don't think I would just ride it till the wheels fall off. I'm just keeping it in the buck. I told Arnold Gaines, I told Lawrence a long time ago, when I went to Olympia, I didn't do it because the money was so low. It was $100 grand and they're looking for $400. Doesn't make sense. So Derek has a lot to think about, it's a lot to process. I think the major thing I'm sure this happens in the fight game. Stay your ass off this phone. Get off that phone. Be recluse. Hang out with the people that really care about you, that ain't trying to exploit you, that just want to love you in your own level of darkness. And if you do that, I think it's going to come out better next year.
I'm gonna jump on that. The last part you said, the fight to stay off the phone. I heard that before. Not the Joe Rogan podcast, they told me saying that you got to stay off the phone and post to delete or post to run. But my motivation is a little different. I study that phone for a reason. Like I keep every receipt. I got guys to this day, like they say something off my whole camp and they mock me on every knocked out. I go right back after the fight. Like, remember what you said? Or you said what? And I respond to every single one because that's what makes me tick. It's like I've already proved a lot when I got you out. The PFL, the Bellator, I probably would have been champion of the UFC if this would not get that fight with that chance because I wasn't one of those flashy guys that couldn't sell tickets with me. And everybody knows that. And everybody talks trash. And everybody says, you can't look at the internet. It's gonna deter you. It's gonna mess up your training. Like, nah, bro, that's like I said, I'll write that stuff down. I put like notes around the house and I find it. Those days I wake up and don't want to go to the train, I find that message. Remember, he called me a bitch. I'm always in the gym. And I gotta go prove this guy wrong. I gotta remember when I win that fight, come back to this message. When they disrespect my family, come back to what you say about my wife for? I do it every time I walk back. When you waste your energy for that, I got a week to recover. I'm sitting here to scroll and respond to every single one of them. And they gonna remember. They gonna come back the next fight. They're gonna do it again. They gonna keep doing it until I lose. The plan is don't lose again.
Hi, my name is Sol. I'm in nutraceutical manufacturing, so my question is actually for Shane. Of course he is. I'm a big fan of your writing. And in this new industry where AI is taking over, I really appreciate people like him that are still actually writing the material and not just copying and pasting. Yeah, I've had the pleasure to work with Rob and his team, manufacturing some of their supplements. And my question to you is, have you never thought some of his formulas are just ridiculous? Like, come on.
To be honest, when he came, like I was introduced around 2020, maybe 2019, somewhere around there, and I saw his formulas, and they are the most loaded in the industry. And at the time, a lot of people were, I don't know if it was a coincidence, but a lot of people were trying to replicate what he was doing, or they just all wanted to do loaded formulas, people were doing it at the same time. But to be honest, every time he's upgraded each thing, he's like on a 2-year cycle. And I think when every competitor has seen him do this, it's just been, I think they'll realize that they can't keep up. And now we're kind of seeing people making more cost-effective stuff. But to Robert's credit, he's just constantly put more and more in. And he doesn't change the price. And so it's become that brand that, like, as I say, the one thing you want as a brand is to just, you see a logo and you don't need to check what's in it. I think Apollon, because of those formulas, got to the point where if it's a pre-workout, you don't need to check what's in it because you already know you probably put 50% more than everyone else and you get more than the value for money. So, yeah.
I can attest to that.
My question for Mr. Sean Bray, and everybody knows Sean Bray, one of the most honest guys in the industry. So the question is very simple. Why don't you sit on the judging panel, especially in Mr. Olympia contest, because you often disagree with the judging decisions. So maybe it will be changing some judging process. Thank you.
I've done pretty much everything from competing, promoting, commentating, sponsoring the Olympia. Judging is not something I don't feel like as an individual, I can impact the overall decision. That's a collection of judges, and all these people, they throw out the highs, they throw out the lows, and they take the average. I don't know that my opinion is going to be able to pick the person that I like. Because remember, I have certain things that I like that some of the other guys don't like. Doesn't mean I'm right, just my flavor is different. So in a judging, I don't think I can impact the sport the way I do promoting it. I spent 20 years commentating on it, and we're living in a society where I'm just not that apologetic. I'm very much like Lee. I'm not going to apologize for my opinion when I give it. That's where we're at now, where I'm asked to apologize or I'm asked to censor myself. I can't censor my opinion. If you're fat, you use the word fat. You got stuff in your shoulders, your calves, your top, your stomach's not right. So now we've got it's kind of politically correct. It's too politically correct for me to sit at a microphone and then think that after it's over, I'm going to get attacked for giving my opinion that I'm paid for. So I moved away from the commentating side, and I just turned 60 this year. I've done it for 20 years. Let the other guys come along and give their opinions. I didn't feel bad about I wasn't removed from the commentating booth, but it was going that direction that I'm offensive, I'm too honest, I'm too blunt. It's all these feelings, and you can't give your opinion, they don't give your opinion. So I just took a step back, and I'm listening to the new guys come in and give their opinion. It's a little more PC, because they know that if they get too honest, they're gonna, get removed. And I got other things to do. I give my opinion. It's time for other opinions now, but it's a double-edged sword, because you can be too honest and then you can be canceled at the same time, so everybody can chime in. And I think someone started a GoFundMe to get me canceled from the Olympia platform. I think, where's that money going? Who's paying money to get me off the mic? So I keep my opinions to myself in terms of going public with them on a global scale with the Olympia, because then you just say the wrong thing, it disappears. Let somebody else. As far as the judge is concerned, who do you attack? The guy at the mic? I mean, the head judge is only a head judge. You still have these other opinions. You go after Steve, you go after Sandy, you go after Tyler. I mean, it's a collection of decisions. They chose Derek, I had Hottie. I would have preferred Andrew. So there's that, and that's universally, I think people came away from the show feeling the same way. So you could have had one of 3 guys win for different reasons. No one's right, no one's wrong. The judge is never been for me. It's not my interest.
Thank you.
So I have 2 questions, one for Akim and one for Jason. Akim, I think we can all agree that you should have placed better, or should have been placed better at the Olympia. Where do you think you should have placed?
Definitely the top 10. I mean, I'm not sure, but I felt like I already enough, I made enough improvements to be back in that top 10 in the Olympia.
And for Jason, in the Open Olympia, do you think the days of multiple-time champs are over? 4, 5, 6 timers?
Ooh, yeah, until we see somebody who's clearly dominant, I mean, just like Sean mentioned, hello. Just like Sean mentioned, it could have gone in any 3 directions, and if Samson probably wasn't as depleted, it could have gone in 4 directions. So it makes it more interesting than the past, because it gives people hope. When Phil had his run, to be honest, everybody's fighting for second place. There's a couple of years where some guys looked relatively good in comparison. But I think it makes it more interesting. I think it'll bring more people to the attendance. Maybe sell a few more live streams. But until somebody really steps up, like Keon in the 212, if he stays in the 212, we'll take that run, for as long as he wants to, more or less. I don't see anybody right now doing that.
Sean Clarita. Sean Clarita.
Yeah, Sean looked great, but he's at the older end of his career, and he had a great run also. He can probably do damage next year. But in the open class, I think it makes an interesting conversation for 4, possibly 5 guys next year, and anybody can take their turn.
Thank you.
I want to follow up with Akim, because he said he should have been in the top 10. I think the more important question is, who in that top 10 beat you that you should have beaten? Somebody got to get knocked out for you to be in the top 10. So the bigger question is, who beat you that should not have?
I mean, to me,
Rubiel.
I felt like I had been a complete package and William Bodak.
Time to get canceled.
Even that the kid from Brazil, you know, his back was very shallow. Like I know my back is my best body part, but at the end of the day, I think I had more muscle than that kid that placed 10th place. You know, even Antonio, you know, he has great shape, but I had a lot of size, and I had one of the best side chest and side tricep in the sport. You know, and even after the show, one of the judges came up to me and was just like, in this whole Olympia, your side chest and side triceps is pretty much the best in this whole show. But like, I'm like, so then what happened? Like, why I didn't even get a look or anything like that? But you know, you just sometimes you just have to appreciate losing, so you can focus on going back to the gym and making improvements to appreciate winning, and that's what I'm going to do when I go into the big one weekend and defend my title.
So I have a question for Bill SHAWN. I'm 19 now, I used to wrestle, and I'm trying to get into the bodybuilding scene. I want some advice. So in training or recovery, what small details set you apart from other people? And then I've been noticing too, like lately, people have been like developing a personal brand. How would you go about developing a personal brand in bodybuilding to create like longevity after you're done with your career?
Oh, he was talking about recovery. I mean, on the recovery side, since you wrestled in high school?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you think of like training table, making sure that you understand what recovery really is. The recovery modalities that I did was, I was doing infrared sauna back in 2005. I was doing cold plunges, all that stuff. But I was doing that, I was doing acupuncture from a guy that actually lived in mainland China that knew this stuff. I was doing that also with traction. I was doing DRX 9000 traction table, making sure that the spine is actually being elongated because as you gain more size, like, things become more compact. The minute that those vertebrae actually touch, that means that your nerves are going to get impacted, right? So you feel like this weird thing in your arm, and I'm making sure this is back in 2005, 2006. So I put the majority of my money, like you guys hear about LeBron James and all this money in his body and stuff upstairs. But
No.
but in all actuality, I'm saying like the modalities such as like infrared sauna, I think is very good. Full spectrum infrared sauna is really good. Hyperbaric, I was doing hyperbaric in 2010. I saw Tim Tebow do it, and I was like, I'm gonna go try this. I'm like, Jackson, I did that because of the fact that I needed to focus on recovery. Actually, being in a pressurized cabin, you go from 21% of oxygen to 94 to 96% oxygen. That oxygen is going to supersaturate the soft tissue, actually repairing all the cells within your body, heart, liver, lung, kidneys, all those things. So I had a system, get up in the morning, do the cardio, this and that, do those modalities I just mentioned, the types of massage that I was doing, neuromuscular massage, and then grafted work, not to the point where people are just getting super red and all this other stuff. You're actually damaging the tissue. And they're thinking like, yeah, damage the tissue is going to be, no, it's not. You're actually going to hurt yourself. Making sure that you're extremely hydrated. Now we've got IV places everywhere. You got to invest in those things because you got to be hydrated at a cellular level, not just supplements, but also those things. Blood work is a big deal, whether you're enhanced or not. You got to understand what your blood is telling you because without that knowledge, like how can you figure out what supplements, what you're ailing, what vitamins, minerals that you're missing. But when it comes to modality, you're going to be spending a lot of money on those things. As far as like personal branding, owning the website is one thing. Having a blue check mark on your social media is a dumb thing. Why I say it's a dumb thing? Because you don't own one email. Think about that. I got millions of followers. How many emails do I have? Meaning? Think about Instagram. You on Instagram? Yeah. How many followers? Yeah. 900. Okay. How many emails do you have? So how would you be able to advertise to them? Exactly. Imagine if you had their email. So when they say link in bio, that bio should go to something. It should go to a container, such as a website, a splash page, something that you can give them for free. So then they can learn more about your journey. Therefore, you've got an email, address, phone number, maybe
can't spam them with BS, but imagine over time you actually have their information. So where if they shut this phone off, which they will, everybody knows that when this guy's not moving, oh my God, like people freak out. But if you have all those emails, you're going to be just fine. You can do whatever you want to do. In fact, there are certain companies that will pay you for those emails. Because actually, if they're following you, those are called scrub emails. Those emails are for specifically what you talk about. They're not like something paid for. Imagine if you had 5,000, 10,000 unique subscribers that have purchased something that you retargeted. You could then go to a supplement company, a equipment company, whatever, and say, actually, I got a lot here. Also, name, brand, image, and likeness. Do you own your name? No. You can trademark that. I trademarked my name in 2013. In different classes, different categories, where I'm selling ebooks, digital offerings, whatever. These are things that athletes don't understand. And that's how they get taken advantage of. Because look, I got taken advantage of, and that's what made me start doing this stuff. Because now you can do a licensing agreement with these companies that want to use your image. So then no one's going to F you over. Your whole job in this life as an entrepreneur is to create a moat. Create what? A moat. You know what a moat is? Okay? Think of a castle. You got a drawbridge, moat. You got to create water, all this other stuff. You want these people to go to your castle? They got to go through this hell to get to your castle. That's what your intellectual property is, something that you need to own. If you think of a tagline, a slogan, a company name, they will steal it. Okay? So you got to think, perfect example, everybody knows, well, not just Nike, just do it, but what's the news name? Not that. I think it was it Pat Riley? 3P. He trademarked 3P. 3P? Yeah. Imagine that. Nike just do it. So you've got to trademark three different things. Three different things. The image, so the logo, the name of the company, and the slogan. So when you're thinking about business, those are the main three things that you should be thinking about. Otherwise, don't even do this stuff. Because they're just doing it for fun. All these guys on TikTok and all that stuff, that's great. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to get someone else stealing their name, brand, image, and likeness in a different country, and they can't do nothing about it. So when I talk to Shane, or I talk to you guys about supplements, because supplements, oh, you think just because I got 7X labs, I got to trademark that in different countries. I got to register in different countries. Some of it actually, you know the company Supreme? Yeah. Go to China. They got a Supreme store that's bigger than the actual Supreme store in China. Because they can't do nothing about it because they didn't register it properly. So when you talk about business, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. You got to be more, and I'm glad you asked this. And I hope it helps somebody else too. Because just because you got a blue check mark don't mean nothing. You got to own your name, brand, image, and likeness.
Okay, thank you.
He came after me, so all we did back in my day was massage. I got massages and I rested between workouts. I mean, I turned pro at a relatively young age, 4 years out of high school, so I was doing the business of bodybuilding. I dropped out of college my senior year to pursue bodybuilding full time with a $1,000 contract from Joe Weeder. And that was my job, eat, sleep, and train. So in between my workouts, I was resting, eating every 3 hours, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, and 11. And in between, I would be getting massages when I could, just for recovery. But all that other red light stuff and the oxygen, whatever, that's all new stuff. So there's a lot more to be had in terms of ways to recover than what I was doing back in the 90s.
So I've been sponsoring some of you guys, and like you guys have been sponsored athletes, and you know, what would you tell like just starting out? What would you tell yourself, like advice in helping your business now outside of what Phil said? You know, I'm just curious, what advice would you give now that you're on the other side of your career to yourself? Partnerships, whatever.
Who wants to answer?
Go ahead.
There you go. So the question is, what we tell ourselves
When you're starting out.
when we start something, we learn from them.
Yeah,
Also
starting
learn.
your bodybuilding. Yeah, what would you
Bodybuilding career, you know, it's tough because when you're young and you're full of adrenaline and full of testosterone, you can't tell yourself much of anything. You know, one thing I can say is maybe back off from some of the crazy type of training we were doing, try to preserve more long term. And you know, Phil mentioned doing the spinal stretching and stuff like that. Like, I definitely would tell myself to do stuff like that, pay more attention to skeletal health. Everything else I think I did, you know, as intelligently as I possibly could, you know, with the information that we had at that time. But one thing, if I could do anything to tell myself, was not to have that kilo of coke in the trunk of my car. No, I'm just kidding.
That was Lee's car. It was Lee's car, wasn't it?
No, we just need more advice on staying healthy, pay more attention to detail, and you're going to make mistakes. That's how you learn from them. That's how we become the people we are in our later years. But just more prioritize more health.
I would say too, on top of what Jason said, which is all correct. Obviously, the recovery is great. I think too many people focus on recovering and hard training. That's a completely different topic. I think the one thing that I would say to myself is something that when I was butchering deer, when I was just out of high school, or I'm sorry, when I was starting senior year of high school, my father said something to me while we were in the garage, and he was like, he said, put 100% into every practice and every game, because at some point you're going to turn around and you're going to miss it and it's not going to be there anymore. And the one thing that, if I could give myself any advice back when I was growing up, is you're going to miss it and it's going to end at some point. You know, these careers, we blink and it's over. It's crazy to think that I'm retired 4 years and haven't been on stage. And, you know, I think when you realize that there is an end to this at some point, I think your mindset shifts a little bit, because at some point, when we're younger, we kind of think we're immortal and this stuff, you know, we're not going to get injured, we're not going to get fucked up, we're not going to get hurt, and we're going to be at the top for a long time. And I think, you know, the majority of us up here, myself, Bill, Lee, Akim, you know, we're, you know, Akim's, you know, been competing since I was competing. You know, I don't know how many years he has left, but he's on the latter part of his career, and, you know, you're going to blink and it's going to be over. So if I could give you guys any advice is, you know, stay in the now and enjoy the moment, because at one point you're going to wake up and it's all going to be gone.
Well, yeah, just from like a business perspective, like, you know, for instance, Phil, like, you work with Hollywood, you're so confident, right, from 13 to 22, like, the question was, like, why don't you guys partner together? Like,
Oh, why did he have business?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's a podcast and a half, bro.
Yeah, like, that's a different question. But also, like,
that
that's like a business perspective. Like, what's helped you learn? Like, what would you tell yourself now that you're a businessman, I guess, outside of what Phil said?
I got one I got the mileage coach, they actually called me off the dealership, Green Trail, before my very first fight for his organization, CCW. So I wanted to start social media, started Instagram. This is 2013. I didn't understand what he was saying until later. Now, World Champ 2025, I realized what he was saying. I wanted to start promoting stuff and brands, like things you're doing in a marketing aspect, which is going to get you sponsors. He said, well, I'll do that every fight. I give you so much X amount of dollars. Well, at the time, fresh out of college, I didn't know. I was posting family stuff, you know, I'm eating, this is my meal today. I cook this meal in hot pot. I didn't realize what they were saying, but now, like being in the game 13 years, I tell these young guys all the time, I ask for advice. Like, you gotta build your brand. Like, if I would have had a brand built when I was in the UFC, I would have gotten that title. Because my last conversation with Hunter Campbell and Dana White was, there's no doubt you deserve the title fight. The problem is, you don't have social media to sell your title. And that was something I didn't understand. I was like, yo, I'm here to just win. I don't care. That doesn't matter. Like, you kind of disrespected me with that. But now, I understand how the business aspect works. And it's like, yeah, it's, like you said, the last thing you said about local office, like back in the day when man used those guys were in this game, it was about the best guys beating the best guys.
Now the game is about who's going to sell the most tickets and get the most butts in the seat. So the way to do that, you have to build an image for yourself. Now after 13 years in the game, in the last 2 years, I bought cameras, I got all the film gear. But this morning, me and Luke was out the house doing content this morning. And Luke is doing a great thing. He's rising stars in category, and he already has his gimmick. Michael Myers is following. When people see that, they know that he's got 100-some TikTok subscribers or followers. And if I knew that earlier, I would have had a gimmick. So I'm like, God, we messing this morning, we hunt. So I'm trying to do it now. My image now, I'm a hunter, I'm a husband, I'm a father. You know what I mean? But all that stuff comes first with it. The image I got to respect is hunter. So now my new thing is kind of like, something always waiting to hunting. Even in a fight, I say hunting season, you know? This guy, when I'm praying, hunting season's over, I'm hunting today, I'm going to get this Russian, I'm bringing Russian again, that's my trophy. You have to find something as, I'm not saying because you're dropping Russian, but all my life, the thing is, you have to find something that these young athletes, like the high school is going to develop. You gotta find something. I got a buddy that I brought him here before, Big T-Bear. He comes to my house and he lives, strongman, bench press 500 pounds. He went and did Kong and was CT Flusher and won the competition. Won the competition with all those guys, but doesn't have him. Because I don't have to talk to him to do. I showed you how to start social media. You have to post. Find something that you can make as your image that match T-Bear. Big like him. He was here, took a picture like 2 years ago here. And lift the house, but he has no social media. Like, you can be a strong one. He would have won that tournament, and those guys remember him, but nobody else knows him because he has 20 followers and he doesn't post. So the thing is, whatever your niche is, find that niche. Find something that you can run with, and then you got to keep building on that every day. Like, you got to, I'm posting content, I got a tripod, mic in my backpack at all times. You never know, you see guys in the gym with their phone up, the influencer, at the time, everybody didn't know it. Like, all these guys always filming, he's on the bench forever. But you gotta think, he's building his brand. Because same thing building, you gotta capitalize on it. He just said, you gotta get that stuff monetized and that is your brand. Nobody else can use that. It's stuff I didn't know. You got your hand with it.
How many times are you posting it? Like, are you talking on the camera? Like, what is your niche?
Yeah, it depends what it is. Like, another thing I just found for me is I was baptized recently, so I'm really big in the words. Another thing, I have days where I'm in the morning, I'm other reading, I'm talking on camera about scripture. I get a good following from that, but other days I'm talking in the gym, I'm making funny skits. Me and Luke make funny skits, me and the coach make a funny skit, or I'll teach something technical. But it's all stuff that people know me as. Like, I'm a Christian, I'm a hunter, I'm a follower, and I'm a fighter. So everything I'm posting is going to be along that line at all times. That's how the algorithm is going to get out there. And then certain sponsors are going to find you. The way I found Apollon was a Chinese buffet. You know what I mean? Rob came up on the table with my brother after one of my losses. Like, look, you're Korean, right? But he had known me from something, seen me on TV, and he seen me on social media, and we started working together. And I do posts and content with the Apollon nutrition and stuff. But I tie it into what I do. I don't just go like, alter the body, I'm gonna be a bodybuilder today, or a Apollon nutrition. No. Whatever I'm doing for my niche, if it works, like certain brands, or protein on my face, or the Enigma, or hydration, my hard workout, hot day in the garage, guess what? It's the perfect day where I'm gonna use the Enigma. I got the Enigma in my shaker, I'm gonna put the bottle here, the thing right there in that frame, and we're gonna do a talk. We're gonna show me lifting, and you'll have a voiceover, we talking at the end. Just gotta find that niche, whatever it is you're working towards, and build off that.
Luke? I'm gonna jump on that. I mean, I don't have really, like, obviously my career is more in earlier phases at this point, just got the UFC and stuff. But like everyone said so far, you can see nowadays every kid wants to be an influencer, right? And I think that's great because they're all trying to build their own brand in the sense of market their personality. But I think where a lot of the disconnect is they're just trying to be their favorite influencer and reproduce that. And at the end of the day, a video will get somebody to come to your page, but your personality, your brand will make them stay. It'll make a follower. So if they come to your page and they like the video, and that's all. This isn't actually him, or nothing else on the page grabs me. They might not follow, like that video and move on. But I think the best thing about like capitalizing on your likeness or stuff like that is you need to show your personality. You need to build your brand in the sense of what you do. Like Corey said, I love horror. One day I happened to throwing Michael Myers costume and dance, and I didn't even want to post it. 'Cause in my head, I was like, this isn't what I normally post or anything, and people are going to think a certain way. But I posted it. This was in 2018, before I even started fighting or anything like that. But I got posted from Barstool, and it's still getting posted today. I get comments all the time of like different brands and stuff using that video. But a lot of people started following from that. And what I said to myself at that point was like, I was so close to not posting that and not getting any meaning from that. Because I was nervous of what somebody would think. Like, yo, that's you're dancing, that's lame. What are you doing? But I think those fears are what stop people from like getting to where they could be. And all this is just showing your true personality. People that know you would see that and be like, that's funny because I know Luke or whatever, and that's like how he is. But like the people that don't know you and are quick to comment are really the people that are afraid to do that or afraid to show their true self. And I think that's the disconnect of the people that want to be an influencer and the people that are influencers. Like all your favorite influencers, you obviously like a video. You love watching them because there's a part of them that makes you like, you know, come back to your video. It's funny or it's motivating or it's, you know, it aligns with your lifestyle or something like that. And I think that's the main thing when it comes to like growing Apollon. I got people on TikTok, I have like 250,000 followers on there. But 90% of them don't even want to play. I just posted that I won at the end of the way, the 10 series fight, got a UFC contract. And there's comments like, dude, I didn't even know you fought. And it's just one of those things that those people on that platform love my other content. And I do post fighting stuff on that, but maybe they miss it or they don't see that I'm a mask or, you know, or dancing like that. I didn't even know that was you. It's one of those things you just gotta be your true self and like Corey said, post it, put it out there. Don't be afraid of like what somebody might say or whatever. What's the worst that can happen to us win? Who cares? They can't do it. So you got something?
How many times do you post it? Because I post content. I post my content. I get a decent amount of views, but I'm not converting those views into followers. I try to post once to twice a day. I probably could do more than that. So how do you attract more followers and gain those followers? Yeah.
So I mean the whole following thing, it's hard because like everyone has different techniques and stuff like that. But I would say like posting 1 to 2 times a day is good. Your content's getting out there and stuff. But also look at what videos or what content does well, and figure out why it does well. Because I'm telling you, it's not the fact that it was posted at a certain time. If there's something in that video that captured a lot of people and didn't watch the whole thing or like the video, and then you just kind of like keep experimenting with that. Because I got videos that do, you know, I've had videos that done like 9 million, 10 million on TikTok, and I have videos that do 600 views. Some of them are gonna miss, and some of them you're gonna think are great and they miss. But it's just, you gotta, the next day, do the same thing and keep posting it, and it'll grow. And believe in the fact that what you're posting has at least make it like content that you actually like. If you're doing it just like I said, to put it out there to try to be like what you want to be or another influencer, it's gonna fall on deaf ears. It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna turn into real followers.
Be yourself?
Yeah, that's really all you do.
And to add to this, I just wanted to point out something. It's actually two-part also. Number one, I was asked a few times because I posted on social media that we're not going to have just influencers on the panel, and some people, you know, criticize me for that. How can you not have influencers? But I wanted to explain that, and I think because there are so many cameras in here, and, you know, obviously witnesses, so I wanted just to explain why not. The reason is because everybody looking on the panel is an actual influencer. How do they influence? By actually achieving something. All of them are achievers. There's one thing about, you know, trying to promote yourself, and that's great. If you can promote yourself, that's phenomenal. If you can build something, that's phenomenal. But there's a certain age group that's going to follow you 2-3 years from now, if that, maybe 5 if you're lucky. People are going to forget about you, and they're going to look for a new big thing. And that's not going to be you. Each and every one on the panel here, they are remembered. Phil is remembered. SHAWN is remembered. Guy, Lee, they're not competing anymore, but they still remember, and they influence you. They're actual influencers. It's just you can add to it achievers because they achieved something, and that's what I wanted to always to do. is to have achievers on the panel who actually can influence you, and they should be influencing you because they can prove that you know what they've done is possible. If they can do it, they should motivate you and influence you to follow in these two footsteps and achieve that. And then the second part, you know, I fully agree with Luke and Corey, and the funny thing is that actually I have a little story about Corey, about, you know, being popular and influencer and, you know, being up there. Corey is probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's down to earth, he's a family man, he's a stand-up guy. I mean, every possible thing, good thing about a human being that I can say about that man. But he was not popular. And he knows he was not popular, and that's the reason why maybe UFC didn't like him that much, because he was just not hot. You know, he had not many followers, he was not a shit talker, and people want that heat. And we had a few conversations about it, and I remember a few years ago, Corey probably remember what year, I don't remember. I'm actually here at the gym, and I get a message. Corey is an asshole. I'm like, whoa. And then I get another message, Corey is an asshole. And, you know, non-stop, the messages kept coming that he's a dick. And I found out that John Jones was in town, he was in New Jersey, and Corey decided to call him out. And apparently not in a very nice way. Yeah, I called him, like, you're a dick. He goes, well, kind of, but I called him out. And you know what? All of a sudden, Corey's popular. He didn't want to fight. He didn't beat nobody. He didn't achieve anything. But he put himself out there, and that's marketing. Kind of like Phil said also, you want a bad guy? Well, I'll give you that guy. And he gave them what, you know, what the fans wanted. They wanted a bad guy, and I'm pretty sure that that helped him sell more merchandise and made him more popular, because Conor McGregor, you have a lot of examples, they assholes, but maybe they're not. But they're very good at what they do, they're businessmen. Because, you know, at the end of the day, Phil, Sean, Guy, they retired. They still have to make a living. They still have to keep going. They still have to achieve something. They have to pay their bills. And obviously the prize money not going to do that. But you know what? They cemented their legacy. So if you want to look for influencers and you want to criticize me why I don't have the influencers, here they are. All of them are influencers. Each and every one. Congratulations, you guys have been great influencers in my life. And now, guys, you know, we asked a lot of questions. You know, this is your time. I know Corey has a flight to catch, and I'm pretty sure you want to take a photo with his belt, and maybe somebody wants to take a photo with the gift, maybe. This is your opportunity. The official part of the seminar is over, but you can approach the guys, you can talk to them, you can interact with them, you can take photos with them, enjoy yourself. We have about an hour, knock yourself out, but be respectful. Thank you very much for coming, and see you all next year.